Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we're going to cover a little bit of JP news. Now, I don't normally cover JP a lot, but there was a couple of kind of like really big developments that I thought were very interesting that I do want to talk about. Now, I know other content creators have already done videos on these. I'm pretty late to getting to these, and I actually wasn't going to do the videos because the day like a lot of this news dropped, my internet actually went out and I couldn't do videos, and then I kind of just was feeling like I was too late to the party, and I thought about it more. I'm like, well, I know there's some people that maybe use my channel as their main source, so I figured there's probably some of you that maybe still haven't heard about this stuff yet. So there's two main topics I want to talk about. One is Leonora, who's a new character that dropped that is having like I mean, I want to call it a glitch, but everything's actually working as intended, so we'll talk about it. But you can do some insane things with Leonora, so something we can look forward to. And then the other thing is in regards to Final Fantasy Tactics, which, as many of you know that have been playing DFFOO for a long time, this game is devoid of tactics characters. Like, we literally have Ramza and Agris, who came out very early in the game's life, and just since then, like, nothing, like no tactics. So there is actually some really good news about tactics, so I want to talk about that as well and give everybody an update on that. So let's start with Leonora. So Leonora is a Final Fantasy IV, the After Years character, and she is a healing support character, right? And I'm going to shout out Blind Eye here from my Discord. Definitely check out Blind Eye stuff. He's a very, very knowledgeable DFFOO player. He's in my Discord. I believe he also has his own YouTube channel, so definitely check out Blind Eye for sure, right? So I borrowed some screenshots that he shared in my Discord, and this is a screenshot of, you can see it there, this is on a single turn getting 661% to the force gauge in one action, right? And the reason why this is happening is because Leonora's, she has a special ability that's very unique. They haven't done anything like it, but it makes it so that anytime you do a brave hit, you heal on every single brave hit you do. You get like a small tick back to your HP for every brave hit, right? So what's happening is people found out you could combo it with Maria's FR. So with Maria's FR, sorry, I could maybe make this a little bit bigger here. Here, let me just do this. Make this a little bit bigger. All right. Hopefully, is it going to blow up? Yeah, it's going to blow up everything else, so that's fine. We'll return this back to normal. But Maria's FR, it's this first part of the passive where it's 2% per ally healed, and what it is this isn't restricted to like once per turn. And so what's happening is every brave hit triggers a separate tick of an HP heal, which thus is triggering a separate 2% bump, but they're all triggering individually at the same time. So if you have a character healing a ton in one set of attacks, doing a ton of brave hits, it just gives you a huge gain in one turn. Now there's another piece to this puzzle, right, that you have to remember, is that a character does, like, you actually have to heal the HP, so a character has to be low on health. So what people have been doing in these videos is they've been running a character like Arden, who depletes their own health, and then Arden himself will deal a ton of brave hits on his attacks, and then each of those brave hits is triggering a separate tick of a heal, and you can see if you do a ton of brave hits, you can get some ridiculously huge gains. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on this and if they're going to try to fix it or not. To me, this seems almost reminiscent of like Camlanot when his force first came out, because it's kind of like everything was working as intended, but the devs didn't expect or want it to combo a certain way, right? Now, in this thing here, like, I do believe everything is working as intended. It's not really like a bug, right? Maria's FR should be giving you a tick for every heal, and Leonora should be allowing you to heal on every brave hit. So what I think this is I think this is an oversight of the devs. I don't think they intended you to get 600% in a turn, right? I've commonly seen screenshots of like 400+%. I guarantee you the devs did not intend that. So this is a situation where both effects are working properly, like how they're supposed to. I think they just had an oversight and didn't see the combination of how this would interact with Maria's FR. Now, is this something that they would change or fix? I don't know if they will. I don't think they will, because I don't think they've done it to this point. I think if they were going to fix it, they would actually adjust Maria's FR to put a cap on how much it can do per turn. So what they would do is, like on Maria's FR effect, they would do this, but then they would say like up to 40% or something like that per turn is probably what they would do if they actually wanted to fix it. But as of right now, I think they're going to leave it. I think if they do decide to address it, they'll wait till the next time Maria gets a rework, and they would include that as a part of the rework. But I think it'll be like Cam, where they probably will just let it sit, and if people want to abuse it, they can abuse it. And kind of go with that. So just wanted to throw that out there. Very interesting interaction there with Leonora. So the nice thing about being on global is obviously it's going to be a long time till we get her. So we'll have plenty of time to know how the devs handle it. And then that may affect if you want to pull for Leonora or not. Because if they decide not to address it and you can just go ham on this, yeah, a lot of players might pull for that, right? So anyways, that's the first part of my video. The second part of my video is talking about Final Fantasy Tactics. Now I know other content creators have already done videos on this, so like I said, I'm late to the party, but I figured why not? Let's get a video out on it because it is very important. So they actually put a notice in the Japanese game. So this is a screenshot from the actual Japanese game, and it's official coming from the developers, right? And I do have a translation of it. Now, let me give you guys a little bit of background on this. So for years, they have not done anything with Final Fantasy Tactics. And at first, we were all just upset, like thinking they were avoiding them. Like, why do we have 70 Type 0 characters with no tactics? Tactics is a very powerful, very popular franchise, right? So what it turns out is I think there have been like some legal disputes over, because there was an interview a while ago where the person being interviewed said that there's a lot of pieces that go into using certain characters, and apparently tactics, it kind of comes from different people or has its own department or whatever, and they need permission from those people to use the characters. They have to license the voice actors. Like, there's a lot of pieces that go into it. And I think there was some legal things that were still being figured out. They didn't have permission to use the characters, I think, is the number one reason why. The other kind of rumor going around is it's very heavily rumored right now. I don't think anything official has been posted, but it's very heavily rumored that a Tactics remake is in development, right? And so part of the reason, too, is that they may have been waiting to assign new voice actors, because obviously if you're going to remake the game, it's probably going to be fully voiced, so they want to have like the newest voice actors. So part of it is they may be waiting for the remake to get to the point where they're assigning voice actors so they know which voice actors to use in DFFOO, right? And I think in Japan, like, the voice acting is like way more important than it would be on global, right? Like, on global, we release so many gacha games with like Japanese only voices or no voices at all, and we like don't really care, right? So, but in Japan, I think the voiceover stuff is way more important. Anime and video game voice actors are way more popular in Japan. They're more like normal movie stars. Like, what a normal movie star is to us is more like what their anime voice actors and stuff are to them. It's like way more important over there, right? So it's a big deal. So I think there's just been a lot of pieces kind of in motion on that. So I do have a translation of this. Once again, this is all shout out to Blind Eye. He's been keeping me updated, posting all this stuff in here, right? So here is an actual like a translated version of these producer notes. So it says, regarding Final Fantasy Tactics, the release of new characters and weapons have been prolonged for a long time. So they're acknowledging like, hey, we haven't been able to use these characters. But by the end of the summer, the already existing characters will be added to the story. What this line is talking about, it's talking about Ramza and Agrias. Because, you know, a lot of players, maybe, I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but my assumption is Ramza and Agrias, they haven't even been appearing in the story because you need the voice work to put those characters back in. Now, they've been able to put Ramza and Agrias like back on banners and stuff, but they haven't really been doing anything with new voices for them, giving them echo, any of that stuff, right? So it's saying by the end of the summer, they're going to come back to story. I think this is meaning, too, that they're probably going to start getting like reworks and stuff as well. Then it says, and talks are being made so that by the end of fall, new weapons will be added. What this is saying, new weapons, this could be referring to Ramza and Agrias, but could also just be referring to new characters as well. So we should, by the end of summer and then by the end of fall, be seeing new weapons and new additions to these characters in the game. So it's really nice that they've even given us a timetable for when we're going to start seeing more Tactics content, which is very, very good. And then they did give a gift out to players as well, right? Now keep in mind, this is on JP. So we're saying by the end of summer for the JP game, and then by the end of fall for the JP game, the stuff's going to be coming. So I wouldn't expect anything new for Tactics on global for like at least a year. Now, they have been doing a lot of time traveling lately, like moving things around. So sure, they could definitely push this stuff up a little bit. But I would say a standard expectation is like, yeah, maybe by next summer, we're starting to get new Tactics stuff in global, which would be really cool. Because, you know, I I want my boy Orlando. He's the one that I'm excited for. So let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Let me know if you think they're going to change the Leonora stuff or if they're going to let it sit. And let me know who your favorite Final Fantasy Tactics character is that you want in DFFOO. My vote is for Orlando. I think that man is the GOAT. Let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.